Every time you walk into a grocery store, you are practically torn between two warring factions. On one side, the low-carb advocates demanding you cut the bread. On the other, the low-fat camp telling you to drop the butter. But we finally have an answer. By looking at a massive 30-year Harvard study, we can see how the debate over fat versus carbs has likely been focused on the wrong set of metrics. For decades, health culture obsessed over numbers. We treated all carbohydrates as the exact same thing, and all fats as equally bad, focusing strictly on the raw quantity of those macronutrients on the plate. According to lead author Z1 Wu, this numerical obsession is exactly why medical advice kept changing. Researchers kept getting conflicting results because they were missing a far more important variable. This basic misunderstanding led millions of people straight toward highly processed diet foods, engineered protein bars, and sugar-free cookies, under the false belief that these were healthy choices. To understand the data, we have to go back to 1986, the year researchers at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health began tracking the habits of three major groups. This wasn't a short-term trial. They synthesized data from nearly 200,000 individuals, tracking their choices consistently over 3 decades. Out of that massive population, researchers identified over 20,000 cases of coronary heart disease, analyzing the dietary patterns that preceded them. This volume of data strips away the noise of short-term diet fads and shows the long-term reality of what damages the human heart. The researchers organized their findings into a grid. Instead of a simple choice between low carb or low fat, they added a vertical axis to measure the healthfulness of the food itself. Let's start with the unhealthy low-carb section. This quadrant represents diets that rely heavily on animal proteins and saturated fats. People eating this way saw their risk of coronary heart disease increase by 14%. On the other side is the unhealthy low-fat quadrant, dominated by refined carbs and simple sugars. This approach also increased heart disease risk, which rose by 12%. The top half of the grid is different. Both the healthy low-carb and healthy low-fat diets share a focus on plant proteins, whole grains, and healthy lipids. Here is the discovery. People eating high-quality diets in either category dropped their heart disease risk almost identically, 15% for low-carb and 13% for low-fat. Regardless of the ratio of fat to carbohydrates, both of these healthy patterns triggered similar reductions in hsCRP, a critical marker of inflammation in the body. On a cellular level, a healthy low-carb diet and a healthy low-fat diet appear to follow the same biological pathways for protection. These results suggest we should stop evaluating our food based on percentages and start looking exclusively at the original source of the food itself. For those who prefer eating low-carb, the data suggests reducing animal-based fats and proteins and replacing them with plant proteins and healthy lipids, like those found in nuts and oils. If you prefer a low-fat diet, the key is to replace refined sugars and grains with whole fruits and intact grains. As JACC Editor-in-Chief Harlan Krumholtz pointed out, a plant-based foundation remains the most important emphasis, regardless of which dietary camp you choose. To recap the findings, first, the strict divide between fats and carbohydrates is far less significant than we once believed. Second, the quality of the ingredients you choose is the critical determinant of how much heart health protection your diet actually provides. Real heart health doesn't have to mean strict deprivation or constant mathematical tracking. It is a daily, simple commitment to choosing whole, unrefined foods.